Hi, I'm Heidi with the Office for Mac group. Word is a powerful word processing and page layout application. But to get the most out of it, first you need to understand the basics. In this video series, I'm going to introduce you to some of the skills that you'll be able to use in all Word documents. Keep in mind that you can pause and resume the video at any time to view the tutorial at your own pace. Okay, let's get started. When you open Word, the first thing you'll see is the Word document gallery. From here, you can start with a blank document, open an already saved document, or create a new document based on a template. For now, let's create a new blank document. Here in the left pane, click All, click Word Document, and then click Choose. Notice that a blank unsaved document titled Document 1 appears. By the way, to get back to the Word document gallery at any time, here on the File menu, just click New Template, or to create a new document without opening the Word document gallery, click New Blank Document. In the next lesson, we'll look at some of the interface elements you'll use most often in Word. In a new document, you can just click in the document and begin typing. But before we dive in, let's take a quick tour of the main areas that you'll use to do your work. Moving from top to bottom, first you have the menu bar. Each menu has commands associated with the menu name. File, Edit, and View are the ones you'll probably use the most. Once you become familiar with the menus in Word, you'll find that they're similar in the other Office applications. When a menu item is grayed out, like this one, it means that it's not available based on what you're currently doing in the document. Next is the Standard toolbar, which shows the name of the document. In this case, a generic Document 1, because we haven't yet saved and named it. The toolbar also contains buttons for some of the most common tasks, such as opening, saving, or printing a document. If you're not sure what a button does, position your pointer over the button and read the tip that appears. Next is the ribbon, which is new in Office 2011. Each tab on the ribbon gives you quick access to features and tools associated with the tab. The tab you'll probably use most in Word is the Home tab to format text, which we'll learn to do in a later lesson. To show or hide the ribbon, just click the active tab, or click this button on the right side of the ribbon. This blinking vertical line in the main document area is called the cursor. It indicates where text will appear when you start to type. The blue bar on the side of the document is the scroll bar. You can drag it up and down to see the parts of a document that aren't currently visible. If you don't see a scroll bar, it just means that all of your document is currently visible. Before moving to the next lesson, let's do a few things to set up our working area. First, use the zoom option here on the Standard toolbar to increase the view to 125%. Then drag this handle in the lower right corner to resize the document window. Okay, in the next lesson, we'll create some sample text and learn several different ways to move around the document. Now that you're familiar with the main areas of the Word interface, let's do what Word does best, which is work with text. So that we have some text to work with, we'll use a shortcut to quickly create several paragraphs of text. With the cursor at the top of the document, type $RAND, open parentheses, the number 10, comma, the number 10 again, and then close parentheses, and then press return. Notice that you now have 10 paragraphs of text, each containing 10 sentences. The text continues to the second page of the document, and the cursor appears at the end of the text. To move the cursor further down in the document, press return. Each time you press return, the cursor moves down one line. To move back to the beginning of the document, drag the scroll bar all the way to the top. Now, click before the first sentence, press return 2 times, and then press the up arrow 2 times to move the cursor back to the top of the document. For this document's title, let's type "The Fox and the Dog." Once you have text in your document, you'll probably want to begin working with it, which is what we'll do in the next lesson. To do something with text, for example, to move it, change its font or color, or just delete it, you first have to select the text. Selecting simply indicates to Word which text you want to work with. There are several ways to select text. Let's look at a few of the most common. The simplest way to select a single word is to double-click it. The highlighting indicates that the text is selected. To select a few words or more, say this entire paragraph, click to the left of the first word in the paragraph. Then hold down the mouse button, drag diagonally across the paragraph, and then release the mouse. You can also triple-click any word in the paragraph to select just that paragraph. To select all of the text in the document, let's use a keyboard shortcut. Hold down the Command key, located next to the space bar on your keyboard, then press A. The Select All command is located here on the Edit menu. As you can see, the keyboard shortcut, Command A, is also listed here. This symbol is for the Command key. To clear the selection, just click once anywhere in the document. Selecting is a basic concept, but it's something you'll probably do in most documents that you work with. In the next lesson, we'll look at some of the things that you can do with selected text. To change how text looks, you have to format it, which can include changing its font, color, and size. Let's format the font size and color of the document title that we typed in the previous lesson. First, select the title paragraph. Then here on the Home tab, click the arrow next to the Font pop-up menu, and then click Arial Black. Next, change the font size to 16. And let's go with this color. As I mentioned in a previous lesson, the formatting options that you'll probably use the most are located on the Home tab. Other options are available here on the Format menu. And Word styles are a special type of formatting that let you apply multiple formatting options in a single click, like this Heading 1 style. In this video, we're not going to cover styles and other advanced formatting options. Let's undo that change. Here on the Edit menu, click Undo to keep the formatting we applied. And we'll move on to the next lesson, where we'll learn to reuse text with a few handy commands. One of the things that makes a word processing application like Word so useful is that you can quickly reuse and arrange text without having to retype it. Let's copy this title and paste it to another location in the document. As with formatting, you first need to select the text that you want to copy. Then, on the Edit menu, click Copy. Notice that the shortcut is Command-C if you prefer using the keyboard. Now, drag the scroll bar to the end of the document, click under the last paragraph, and press Return 2 times to insert some space. Then click Edit, Paste. And you can see that an exact copy of the text is pasted. The button that appears when you paste text or other objects is called the Paste Options button. Here you can select how you want the pasted text to appear. Let's go with the default option, which is to keep the source formatting. To hide the button, either begin typing or press the Escape key located in the upper left corner of your keyboard labeled ESC. Scroll back to the top of the document and you can see that the original text is unchanged and appears exactly as you left it. If we had used the Cut command instead of Copy, the original text would have been removed, but still available to paste. Now, instead of copying this last paragraph, let's move it below the title we just pasted. Again, you first need to select the text to move. When the cursor appears as this arrow, click and drag the text. As long as you hold down the mouse button, a ghosted version of the text appears along with the moving insertion point. When you get to the location where you want to move the text, release the mouse button. If you make a mistake, like I just did by dropping the text in the wrong place, you can use the Undo option here on the standard toolbar. Click it once for each action you want to undo. To see all of the actions you can undo, click the arrow to the right of the button. Keep in mind that copied or cut text can be pasted over and over until you copy or cut a different selection. Also, the copy and paste commands are universal. In other words, they're available in all Office applications, as well as most other applications, and on the web. In the next lesson, we'll look at how to set several common layout options for your document. In addition to formatting text, you can also change layout options, such as line spacing, margins, and page orientation, to help make your document look just the way you want. Let's change the line spacing first. To make sure the spacing applies to the entire document, click Edit, then select All to select all of the text. Now, here on the Home tab, under Paragraph, click the Line Spacing button. This checkmark indicates that the line spacing is currently set to 1. Let's change it to 1.5. If you scroll to the end of the document, you can see that the change in spacing increased the length of the document to 3 pages. Now let's change the document margins. Since margin settings apply to the entire document, you don't have to select text to set them. First, click the Layout tab. Then click Margins and select the Narrow option to set the top, bottom, left, and right margins to a 1/2 inch. Finally, let's change the page orientation from the default portrait to landscape. Okay, in the final lesson, to finish up, we'll save the document to a new folder.